Good morning all. Today we are going to see about voltage regulator. We'll see this voltage regulator. What is the function of this voltage regulator? Actually it is in your first unit. Okay. Right. Now let me start the voltage regulator. First let me start with the introduction. What is voltage regulation? Line regulation, load regulation, series voltage regulator, shunt voltage regulator and switching regulator. Actually switching regulator is not in your syllabus, but we will see for the laboratory purpose. Okay. So you should know what is the switching regulator. Clear? Right. Next we'll see the introduction of power supplies first. Actually generally we have batteries are often shown on schematic diagram as the DC voltage source, but usually the actual DC voltage source is power supply. You might have seen the power supply in your laboratories, right? Actually there are two types of power supply. One is actually most are designed to convert high voltage AC mains. Okay, you might have seen that in your laboratory purpose, in the table itself you might have seen that a switch, right? Switch kind of thing. So that is high voltage AC mains, electricity to a suitable low voltage supply, okay, for electronic circuits and other devices. A more reliable method of obtaining DC power supply is actually to transform, rectify, filter and regulate an AC line voltage. So the entire process, transform, rectify, filter and regulate an AC line voltage, we are calling it as a switched mode power supply. The entire process, transform, rectify, filter, regulate an AC line voltage, we are calling it as a switch mode power supply. Understand? Right. Next, so it can be broken into many series of blocks. So we will see the function of each and every block. Next, actually this is your total switched mode power supply. This is your switched mode power supply. Clear? Right. So the first block is your transformer. I'm sorry, the first is from the power supply, which is from AC mains, and next one is transformer, and the next one is rectifier, filter, then regulator, finally load. Okay. So first the power supply, actually it is from AC mains, that is a standard AC voltage which is 120 volt. Okay, so in big factories and companies in our college, all are say 420 volts power supply is also there. Okay, in electrical labs and all you might have seen 230 volt, 420 volts power supply and all. Okay, so which is provided by the outlet to a constant DC voltage. Next one is transformer. This transformer actually what it will do is it will step up or step down the AC voltage. Okay, step up or it will step down the AC voltage. So that is the purpose of transformer. So in our laboratory you might have seen a small transformer, a very small, when you are doing the rectifier circuits, you will see the very small transformer, but in streets and all you might have seen a big transformer. Okay, right. So that is what here we are telling, a device that step up or step down the AC voltage provided by the wall outlet to a desired amplitude through the action of a magnetic field. Clear? Right. Next we'll go to the next block, which is called the rectifier. Right. So rectifier, you might have seen the videos and lectures from your staff, that what is rectifier. Rectifier, it will convert AC input voltage to pulsating DC voltage. Okay, so the input of the rectifier is what? It is a sinusoidal signal, which is an AC signal, right? The output is actually pulsating DC voltage. What do you mean by pulsating DC voltage? In this pulsating DC voltage, actually there are two components present. One is AC as well as DC. Actually, you might have studied the rectifier which will convert AC to DC. The DC which is obtained from the output of the rectifier, it is not a pure DC. It is a pulsating DC. Pulsating DC means actually it contains both AC as well as DC voltage. Okay, That is what the pulsating DC voltage is only suitable to be used as a battery charger, but not good enough to be used as a DC power supply in radio, stereo system, computer, and so, because there is a actually this pulsating DC contains an AC as well as DC. Okay, so it is not suitable for the radio, stereo system, computers, and so on. Okay, so actually the input of the rectifier is what? Input of the rectifier is a sinusoidal AC signal, output is a pulsating DC. Actually, what is the function of the rectifier? Rectifier which will convert AC to DC, so that DC signal should be a pure one. Okay, so what you will do generally, if you want a pure thing, what you will do? You will filter it out, is it not? So that is what we are going to see. See, in the next block you have a filter. So what the purpose of the filter? The purpose of the filter is to actually completely eliminate your AC signal which is present in the pulsating DC. Pulsating DC means what? It contains both AC as well as DC component. So what this filter will do? This filter will completely remove the AC component. We'll see the filter block. Okay. So there are two types of rectifier circuit actually, right? Which is half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier, which is center tapped, and bridge full wave rectifier. Okay, but half wave rectifier actually it has more ripple. Ripple means actually the AC component. Okay, the residue of AC component present. So a full wave rectified signal has less ripple when compared to half wave rectifier. Full wave rectifier has a less ripple than the half wave rectified signal. Okay, so and you can better to apply to a filter. So you have three types. One is half wave, full wave, and bridge full wave rectifier. Bridge full wave rectifier and full wave rectifier has same efficiency and everything. So half wave rectifier efficiency is very less since it has a more ripple. Ripple means, kindly note down, it is a AC component present in the pulsating DC. Clear? Okay, so this half wave rectified signal and is thus better to apply to a filter. That is, a full wave rectifier is better to apply to the filter. So when you apply the output of full wave rectifier to a filter, actually if you see here I had given a sinusoidal signal which have only the positive. Okay, positive, that is this is the output from the full wave rectifier. In the case of half wave rectifier you will have a one half, then you don't have the negative half cycle, and you will have again a positive half cycle. Okay, but in the full wave rectifier it will conduct for both positive as well as a negative half cycle. Clear? So now here the output which is from the rectifier, here I am taking the full wave rectifier. This output we are giving it to the filter, right? So a filter, a circuit used to reduce the fluctuations in the rectified output voltage or ripple. This provides a steadier DC voltage. So filter, what it will do is it will filter out the small AC component present in the pulsating DC. Okay, right. Next we will go to the regulator. What the regulator will do? A circuit which is used to produce a constant DC output voltage. The output which we are getting from the filter is also not a pure DC. Okay, right? There are again a small AC component is present. So actually what we are going to do is we are going to apply the output to the regulator. Okay, when you apply it to the regulator you will get a constant DC output voltage by reducing the ripple to a negligible amount. Okay, so which is one part of your power supply. Okay, now you can give the this output of the regulator to the load. Clear? Right. Next, actually now we'll see our aim is to what? Our aim is to convert AC to DC, right? Completely DC. So the output which is from the regulator, it's a pure DC, right? Now we'll see what is the regulator. Now what are all the components or devices which is used for regulation purpose? Zener diode is a regulator, the device which is used for a regulator is a Zener diode. So if they ask you the application of a Zener diode, you can straight away tell that Zener diode is the will act as a regulator. Okay. For low current power supplies, a simple voltage regulator can be made with the resistor and a Zener diode connected in reverse. See here you have this is your Zener diode. So a Zener diode, right? Zener diode fixed output voltage. So resistor which is used to limit the current, that we know, right? So resistor will resist the flow of current, right? Now, so for low current power supply, a simple voltage regulator can be made with the resistor and Zener diode. Actually, Zener diode are rated by their breakdown voltage, and it is maximum power is actually 400 milliwatt, right? So what will be the breakdown voltage of a Zener diode? You might have done in the laboratory. What will be the breakdown voltage of a Zener diode? Breakdown voltage maximum of 7 to 9. Okay, clear? Please remember this in mind. Next, we'll see what are the types of voltage regulation. There are two basic categories of voltage regulation. One is line regulation and another one is load regulation. What do you mean by line regulation? The purpose of line regulation is to maintain a nearly constant output voltage when the input voltage varies. It means even though there is a variation in the input voltage, you should maintain the constant output voltage. That is what the line regulation. Next, what do you mean by the load regulation? The purpose of load regulation is to maintain a nearly constant output voltage when the load varies. Even when the load varies, right? What will happen? That is, load means actually you have any fluctuations in the load, so you should maintain a constant output voltage. Okay, right? So you might have seen the regulators in your TVs as well as fridge. If there is any fluctuations from our power mains from AC supply, right? You might have noticed this in your home, right? So if there is any power fluctuation also, that regulator which you might have seen on your fridges and all refrigerators, okay, that will maintain a constant. Your output voltage should maintain a constant one, irrespective of whatever changes in your input voltage, that is called the line regulation, and load changes, that is called the load regulation. Clear? Right. We'll go what is a line regulation. As I told you, line regulation is a change in input line voltage does not significantly affect the output voltage of a regulator, okay, within a certain limits. Okay, right? So this is actually your input voltage, whatever you are giving. So there is no significant changes. If I connect a voltage regulator, there is no significant change in the output voltage. Okay, so that is, there is a decrease, it can be a decrease or increase in the input voltage, it will maintain as a constant output voltage. This is called the line regulation, right? Next, load regulation, or before load regulation we'll see the formula for the line regulation. Line regulation can be defined as the percentage change in the output voltage for a given change in the input voltage. That is what we have seen. Irrespective of whatever changes in your input, your output should maintain a constant one. Okay. So line regulation is what? Del V out over del Vn into 100%. Del means a change in. Line regulation can be calculated using the one more formula called del V out over V out by del Vn into 100%. That is line regulation. You can use either of these for two formulas. Okay, right. Next, go to the load regulation. So what we have seen as a load regulation, a change in load current, that is due to varying load RL, right? So has practically no effect on the output voltage of a regulator. That it means it should maintain within certain limits. Okay, so there is a regulator at the input side. If there is an increase in decrease in the load, if there is any variation, there should not be any change in the output. Clear? There should not be any change in the output. That is called the load regulation. Clear? Right. Now we'll see the formula for the load regulation. Load regulation can be defined as the percentage change in the output voltage from no load to full load. Then only we can see the difference. Okay. So no load output voltage VNL represent no load output voltage minus full load over the full load. Okay. Right. This is actually your load regulation. No load voltage minus full load voltage over full load voltage, which is into 100 percentage. Clear? Right. Now, a load regulation, sometimes you have a power supply, manufacturers specify the equivalent output resistance, your R out instead of its load regulation, right? How will you calculate V out? V out is no load into, that is actually when I have a 2 resistor, obviously what should I do is I have to apply for the voltage divider rule. When 2 resistors are in series and I want to find out what is the voltage across one resistor, I need to find out the or I need to apply the voltage divider rule. So this is what here I have applied the voltage divider rule. Okay, right? So RFL, it represent equal the small related load resistance. Okay, so full load resistance is no load into resistance at the full load over R out minus RFL. Clear? Right. And no need to bother about this example actually for load regulation, because we are straight away going to see with the Zener and transistor, using transistors. Okay, right? This is just for your clarification in case if they had given a 2 resistors, how will you calculate this? Okay, right. Next, load regulation. You are rearranging the equation. No load regulation is full load R out minus a full load of a resistor over full load of a resistor. So finally you need to find out the load regulation, which is R out by R full load, output resistance over full load resistance into 100 percentage. Clear? Into 100 percentage. That is output resistance over full load resistance into 100 percentage. Okay, right. Next. Actually, I have posted 2 examples. If possible, please you calculate, and had given the solution for this also. The input of a certain regulator increases by 3.5 volt. Okay, as a result, the output voltage is increases by 0.042. Okay, right? So the nominal output is 20. Determine the line regulation. Use in both percentage and in percentage per volt. Okay, right? So you use the formula which I had given. Okay, right? And you find out what is the answer. Similarly, and one more in the load regulation. If a 5 volt power supply has an output resistance of 80 milliohm and specific maximum output current of 1 amp, calculate the load regulation in percentage and percentage per milliamp. Okay, use that is V no load minus V full load over V full load into 100 percentage. Okay, right. Next, we'll see the types of regulator. Actually, we have seen the regulation types as a line regulation and load regulation. Now, what are the types of regulators used to control these regulations? Okay, right? Types of regulator. Fundamental classes of voltage regulators are linear regulator and switching regulator. Two basic type of linear regulator. What are the two basic types? Series regulator and shunt regulator. Right? So the series regulator is connected in series with the load and shunt regulator is connected in parallel with the load. The first line, see, the series regulator is connected in series with the load. This is load. Series regulator is connected in series with the load. It is connected in the same line, right? And shunt regulator is connected in parallel with the load. In shunt load, right? So here shunt regulator is connected in shunt with the load. Clear? In shunt with the load. Right, now do you understand how we are connecting the series with the load and how we are connecting shunt regulator with the load? Clear? Now actually to understand the series regulator circuit, I took a simple block diagram, right? So in between input and output there is one control element, okay, in series with the load between input and output. And next actually I have a sample circuit. Sample circuit means if there is any changes in the output, it will take the changes from the output, okay, and it will give it to the input. It will detect the error and give it to the input, okay. So output sample circuit senses a change in output voltage. This is what actually your regulation means, is it not? Right, we have seen the line regulation and load regulation. Whatever it is, if there is any change in the output, okay, it should be identified and it should maintain a constant input as well as output, okay. Right, now output sample circuit which senses a change in output voltage. Now the error detector compares sample voltage with the reference voltage. That is, this is the reference voltage. For example, I am giving this many this much input voltage, I have to get the same output voltage, okay. Right, with the reference voltage causes control element to compensate in order to maintain a constant output voltage, okay. Right, now we'll see actually the transistor series regulator. Actually we have seen series and shunt regulator. Now we'll see the transistor as a series regulator. See, you can see here, this is your unregulated voltage which is from the output of the filter. Clear? Right, next this is your output voltage. Where your transistor is connected? Your transistor is connected to the input and output. As I have shown the previous circuit, the control element which is connected in between input and output, okay. Now your Zener diode, now see I have used the Zener diode here. Your Zener diode provides the reference voltage, okay. It provides the reference voltage. Always it will act as a regulator, so it will always maintain a constant voltage. Your Zener diode will maintain a constant voltage. Right, so next we'll see since Q1 is an NPN transistor, right, it is V naught is actually what is your VBE. Now VBE is VZ minus V naught. Kindly for the previous slide you draw the circuit, then you go to the this slide, okay. Right, then only you will understand. So the response of the pass transistor to change in load resistance is actually, if load resistance increases, so when if there is any change in RL, load voltage also increases, is it not? V is equal to I into R, okay. So if there is any change in the resistance value, obviously your voltage also increases. Voltage and resistance are in proportion. Clear? Since the Zener voltage is constant, as I told you, it will always maintain the constant voltage. The increase in V naught, if there is any change in the output voltage, causes VBE to decrease, base and emitter voltage to decrease, because your base is connected to what? Your Zener voltage. Understand? Base and emitter voltage to decrease. So the decrease in base and emitter voltage which reduces the conduction through the pass transistor. So load current decreases. Obviously your load current decreases. So this offset the increase in load resistance and a relatively constant load voltage is maintained. Clear? So what you have to do is you draw the circuit from the previous slide and you see one by one how it is working, okay. It is clear. The load resistance increases. As the load resistance increases, right, load voltage also increases, because voltage and resistance are in proportion, right. Since the Zener voltage is constant, the increase in V naught causes VBE to decrease, okay. So the VB decreases, it reduces the conduction through the pass transistor, so load current also decreases. So which will offset the increase in load resistance and a relatively constant load voltage is maintained. Clear? Right. Now I had given an example. See, calculate the output voltage and Zener current for RL equal to 1 kilo ohms. This RL equal to 1 kilo ohm and 12 volts. If they had given the value across your Zener diode, this is the regulated voltage or constant voltage of a Zener diode. Beta is given as 50. Okay, beta value is given as, that is current gain value is given as 50. Clear? Right. Now, so I had given the values also. Now you just find out what will be the value. Clear? Right. Next, we'll go to the shunt regulator. Now for the shunt regulator also, I have took this simple block diagram, right? See, control element and my that is load and my sample circuit all are in connected with the shunt. The unregulated input voltage provides current to the load. Okay, it provides current to the load. Some of the current is pulled away by the control element. Okay, so if the voltage tries to change due to the change in the load resistance, see, if there is, I told you that if there is any change in the load resistance, right, so that will be sensed by the sampling circuit. Okay, that will be sensed by the sampling circuit. So when the load voltage tries to change due to change in the load resistance, the sampling circuit provides the feedback signal to the comparator. So what the comparator will do? Comparator will compare with the reference voltage. Okay, what is the change in the voltage occurred and what will be the actual reference voltage? So the comparator compares and it will give the output to the control element. Okay, so the resulting difference voltage then provides a control and it vary the amount of the current signal to shunted away from the load to maintain the regulated output voltage across the load. Okay, right? So if there is any change in the output load voltage, if there is any change in the load, there will be a change in the load voltage. So that will be sensed by the sample and hold circuit, which will given to the comparator circuit. Your comparator circuit, actually it will have a two input always. One is the reference voltage, which we always fed into the comparator circuit. This about comparator circuit you will study in detail in linear integrated circuits. Okay, so in comparator, so the feedback signal and the reference signal, now it will compare these two input signal. See, we have two input signals to the comparator circuit. Now it will produce the output, so which will give it to the control element. Okay, clear? So control element is connected where? It is connected in shunt with this. Clear? Right. So now we'll see the actual circuit diagram. This is only a block diagram. We will see the actual circuit diagram. Now see, transistor shunt regulator. This is a load regulator, RL load, and I have connected this control element also in shunt. Everything we have connected in shunt. See, the control element is a transistor here. The control element is a transistor here. Okay, right. So which is in parallel with the load, which is in parallel with the load. So with the resistor RS, there is a resistor in series with the load. Okay, in series. So you know that a resistor which is used to limit the current flow. Okay, so the operation of the transistor shunt regulator is similar to that of your transistor series regulator. It means if there is any change in the load, so that change will be in your voltage also. So that voltage will be sensed by your sample circuit. Okay, that is here a controlling the current. So the transistor series regulator, except that regulation is achieved by controlling the current through the parallel transistor. We have connected in shunt with the load, in shunt with the load. Clear? So when the transistor is connected in shunt with the load, see, resistor RS drops the unregulated voltage, depends on current supplied to load R. Okay, that is load RL actually, right? So if there is any change in voltage, right, that there will be change in the output voltage. So output voltage is what here? Output voltage is nothing but the transistor output voltage, VC. Okay, transistor output voltage. So voltage across the load is set by a Zener diode and transistor base emitter voltage. See, base emitter voltage, which is nothing but your input voltage here. Okay, so if there is any change in the output, it will be sensed here, right? And that is actually output voltage. And you see here your Zener diode is connected in again a parallel to the load. Okay, so here your Zener diode which will sense, and it is connected to what? It is connected to your base emitter voltage, right? Now, so if there is a decrease in RL, in case instead of increase, if there is a decrease in RL, a reduced driving current to base of Q1. Okay, so the base of Q1 shunting less collector current. See, what is the base current? It is actually the input current. If input current reduces, output collector current also reduces. Clear? Right. So the load current IL is larger and maintaining the regulated voltage across the load. Clear? Regulated voltage across the load. So this is very simple circuit. All the thing is you should print in your mind. Okay. Now, so we'll see the transistor as a shunt regulator. The output voltage to the load is V naught, VL, so which is equal to VZ plus VBE. Right? You go to the circuit and see the VZ plus VBE. If you write Kirchhoff's voltage law, you will get VZ plus VBE. Voltage across the load is set by the Zener diode voltage and the transistor base emitter voltage. Is it not? Because transistor is connected in shunt. If the load resistance decreases, the load current will be larger at a value of IL equal to VL over RL. Okay. The increase in load current causes the collector current shunted by the transistor, and which is to be less. So IC equal to IS minus IL. Okay, so the increase in load current causes the collector current shunted by the transistor. So IC equal to, I can write IS minus, you write simply the Kirchhoff's current law. Okay, so the current through RS is IS equal to VI minus VL over RS. Clear? I is equal to V by R, input voltage minus load voltage over RS. Clear? See, I have posted a simple problem. Determine the regulated voltage VL, load regulated, and the circuit currents. They had given IS is given, IZ is given, and IC is given, right? So here what is the load? You just go through the circuit and you do it. Okay, the formulas which I had given in the previous slide. Clear? No. Switching regulator. Actually, the switching regulator is a type of regulator which is efficient transfer of power to the load and which is greater than series and shunt regulator. As I told you that actually, switching regulator, that is we had given it as a transistor series and shunt regulator in the syllabus. Okay, right. So if it is always better to know about the switching regulator. The switching regulator is a type of regulator circuit which its efficient transfer of power to the load is greater than series and shunt regulator, because the transistor is not always conducting, because it may go into cutoff region. Okay, so not always conducting. So the switching regulator passes voltage to the load in pulses, which then filter to provide a smooth and DC voltage. Right? This is your switching regulator. Now, your switching regulator actually, when compared to other series and shunt type regulator, it is more efficient. This type of regulator is ideal for high current application, since it is very less power is dissipated. Okay, so nowadays we are actually worrying about the power is concerned. Okay, so when I have a less power dissipation, I can go for a switching regulator. Voltage regulation in a switching regulator is achieved by the on and off action limiting the amount of current flow based on the varying line and load conditions. So with the switching regulators, you can have a 90% of efficiencies can be achieved. That is, you can obtain a pure DC from the switching regulator compared to series and shunt. Now, in switching regulator, we have a fixed voltage regulator. This is what generally we use in laboratory purpose. So, there is a fixed positive voltage regulator. So, the series actually started with a 7-8. That XX actually represents the output voltage. Okay, that is three terminal devices which provides a fixed positive output voltage. Okay, right, now we'll see that. See, the fixed voltage regulator has unregulated DC input voltage VI is applied to one input terminal, a regulated output DC voltage V0 from a second terminal, say first terminal, a second terminal, and the third terminal is connected to the ground. This is what your switching regulator. Clear? Now see, an unregulated input voltage VI is actually in the, if there is any unregulated, if there is any disturbances in the input, it will get filtered by the capacitor. See, always you should connect the capacitor in shunt with the input or output wherever it is, except a coupling capacitors. All the capacitors which when we are using it as a filter purpose, you need to connect in shunt. The reason behind that is actually the capacitor blocks DC and bypass AC. Okay, it blocks DC and bypass AC. So why we need to bypass AC? Because that AC only unwanted signal for us. What is our aim? We are converting AC to DC. The output from the filter is what? Actually it is a from the rectifier is a pulsating DC. It contains AC as well as DC. See, the output from the filter, I want a pure DC. So I need to eliminate the AC. So if I connect actually the capacitor in shunt with the input or output, what happens? It actually blocks DC. The function of a capacitor is it blocks DC and it bypass AC. Okay, it blocks DC and bypass AC. When it blocks DC, DC will get blocked here and AC will get bypassed, which is will go to the ground. Understand? That is what we need to connect the capacitor, which should be in parallel or in shunt. Understand? If you have any doubt, you can ask me or you can call me also. So the IC's output terminal provide a regulator of plus 12 volts, which is filtered by the capacitor C2. The third terminal is obviously it is grounded. See, this is 7805. It represents what? Output. I told you 78 is the series. Output voltage is plus 5. So the minimum fluctuation you have, that is the minimum input voltage we can have is 7.3. Okay, 7806. This 06 represents the voltage, output voltage. 7808, it represents the plus 8. 7812, it represents the plus 12 volt. Right? So the 78 is the series. Okay, and the next two numbers, it represents the output voltage. Clear? Now that is actually we have seen only for the positive, right? Fixed voltage regulator. I have a 79 series which is actually a for the negative terminal also. So the series 79 XX regulator or the 3 terminal IC regulator that provide a fixed negative output voltage. Previously 78 series is for the positive output voltage, 7805, 7808 and all. So in case if you get the component, obviously you have to see what is it. 78XX 7808 means okay, output voltage maximum it can withstand is only 8 volt. Okay, 7808. So like that. So 79 is actually we can have the negative output voltage also. See, 79. So whenever they give a 79 series, you should keep it in mind that it is the negative voltage regulator. Okay, 7905 means minus 5 volt. So the maximum output voltage where it can withstand is minus 5. The minimum in excuse me, the minimum input voltage is actually it is minus 7.3, right? This is actually the tolerance level. Now, a fixed voltage regulator, we have a adjustable voltage regulator, all LM series. LM series is actually your adjustable voltage regulator. Voltage regulators which are also available in a circuit configuration that allow to set the output voltage to a desired regulated value. Okay, see, that is adjustable means from this to this. Actually in the 78 series it's a constant, it's a fixed one. Okay, 7805. So here adjustable means from 1.2 to 37 volt I can have the range here. That is what your adjustable voltage regulator means. And next, so far we have seen this. So voltage regulator, so it will keep a constant DC output despite input voltage or load changes. The two basic categories of voltage regulators are linear and switching. The two types of linear voltage regulators are series and shunt. The three types of switching are step up, step down and inverting. Clear? And this is the summary what we have seen earlier, right? So switching regulators are more efficient than linear, making them ideal for low voltage high current application. And IC regulators you will study in linear integrated circuits. Okay, both linear and switching type regulators are available in IC form only. Okay, current capacity of a voltage regulator can be increased with the external pass transistor. Clear? Right. Now I think I come to the end of the session. I hope you have you would have understood this. So please, if there is any discrepancy or if you want to ask any doubts, kindly feel free to ask me. Okay, thank you.